3 laughing monks. In the vast, sprawling lands of ancient China, there existed a trio of elderly monks whose names have faded into the mists of time, not because they were forgotten, but because they never bothered to share them with anyone. To the people of China, they were affectionately known as the 3 Laughing Monks, a title that captured their essence perfectly. These wandering souls roamed the countryside together, an inseparable band of mirth, and their only occupation, it seemed, was to laugh. They would stride into a village or bustling town, plant themselves firmly in the heart of the central square, and unleash peals of hearty, unrestrained laughter. At first, the townsfolk and travelers passing through would pause, curious and bemused, watching these odd figures cackle with abandon. But soon, the infectious nature of their joy took hold. Shopkeepers, farmers, children, and even the sternest of elders found themselves chuckling, then giggling, then roaring with laughter until a jubilant crowd had gathered, united in this strange, spontaneous merriment. As the waves of laughter rippled outward, they engulfed the entire settlement, transforming quiet hamlets and busy market towns alike into havens of unrestrained glee. It was only when every soul had succumbed to the hilarity that the 3 monks, still chuckling, would hoist their simple staffs and amble off toward the next destination. Their laughter was more than mere sound. It was their sacred ritual, their soul sermon, their wordless gospel. They never spoke, never preached, never offered explanations. They simply conjured these moments of collective joy, leaving behind a trail of uplifted spirits. They never spoke, never preached, never offered explanations. They simply conjured these moments of collective joy, leaving behind a trail of uplifted spirits. Across the land, from the rice paddies of the south to the windswept plains of the north, they were cherished and revered. The people of China had never encountered spiritual guides quite like them, before or since. The monks seemed to embody a profound truth: that life was a grand jest, a fleeting chance to revel in happiness, as though they had stumbled upon the punchline to some universal riddle whispered by the cosmos itself. For years, decades perhaps, they roamed the ancient roads, their laughter echoing through the hills and valleys, a melody of joy that stitched together the fabric of countless lives. Then, one fateful day, as they paused in a modest village nestled in the rugged northern province, tragedy struck, or so it seemed. One of the trio, his face still creased with the lines of countless laughs, passed away. The news spread like wildfire, and the villagers, stunned and dismayed, abandoned their fields and workshops, rushing from far and wide to the spot where the monks had encamped. They arrived breathless, their eyes wide with anticipation, expecting to find the surviving pair bowed in grief, perhaps shedding tears for their fallen companion. But as they drew near, they were met with a sight that defied all reason. The 2 remaining monks were not weeping, they were laughing louder than ever. Their guffaws rang out across the open ground, wild and unrelenting, as if death itself were the greatest jest of all. The crowd stood dumbfounded, watching as the 2 monks doubled over, clutching their sides, tears of mirth streaming down their weathered cheeks. Finally, a few brave souls stepped forward, their voices trembling with confusion and curiosity. "Why aren't you mourning?" they asked, their tone a mix of reverence and disbelief. "Your friend is gone. Why do you laugh instead of cry?" For the first time in memory, the monks paused their laughter just long enough to offer a reply. Wiping his eyes, one of them grinned and said, "Yesterday, as we trudged along the dusty road to your village, he made a wager with us. He bet he'd outwit us both and be the first to leave this world. And look, the old trickster won." The other monk nodded, still chuckling. "He even left a testament, the sly fox. He planned it all." According to custom, the villagers prepared to honor the deceased monk by washing his body and dressing him in fresh robes before laying him on the funeral pyre. But as they approached, the 2 monks waved them off, pointing to a scrap of parchment clutched in their hands. "No need for that," they said, reading aloud his final wishes. He wrote, "Leave me in these old rags. I've never let the muck of this world cling to me. My laughter kept me clean every single day." And so, respecting his will, they placed his body, still clad in the tattered, travel-worn garments he'd arrived in, onto the wooden pyre. The flames were kindled, crackling and spitting as they began to consume the cloth and wood. Then, to the astonishment of everyone present, a miracle unfolded. As the fire licked at his robes, a dazzling eruption of fireworks burst forth. Sparks, and colors, reds and golds and blues, spiraling upward, downward, outward in every direction, a radiant cascade that lit up the somber scene. The villagers gasped, then cheered, and soon their voices joined the uproarious laughter of the two monks. The villagers gasped, then cheered, and soon their voices joined the uproarious laughter of the two monks. The sky blazed with light, a final, joyous farewell from the departed soul who had lived and died in mirth. In that moment, the lesson of the three laughing monks sank deep into the hearts of all who witnessed it. Perhaps the true purpose of existence, the only reason for our fleeting time on this earth, is to laugh, to embrace joy with open arms and never let it go. So, the next time life weighs heavy on your shoulders, when troubles loom large and dark, take a moment to stand before a mirror, look into your own eyes, and let out a laugh. Let it grow. Let it chase the shadows away, for it's your joy that keeps you truly alive. A spark of the eternal jest that those three wise wanderers understood so well.